We don't have the U.S. Senate race up. We don't, obviously, nobody's running for president. But what we do have is the governor's race, and that's going to be the focus of probably the next year, over a year and a half, right? So right now there's one person officially announced, a couple we're thinking about running, but we really don't know what the field's going to be. But I think we can all agree whoever is the eventual nominee on the Republican side is going to be better than Evers.
Yay!
Of course, we don't quite know if Evers is running yet either, so there's just a lot of uncertainty right now. So our role right now is just to get together, talk, and stay energized, and try to help identify new people, new voters, people who are going to be helping us and volunteering in the next year. Because we really don't have any downtime in Wisconsin, because next fall, or next spring, which is less than a year away, we have a Supreme Court race again. And I know it feels like we just got through with one of those, but we have one almost every single year. And we need to win the next 3 Supreme Court elections to take back the majority, which is a tall order, but thankfully we've got some great Supreme Court candidates. Justice Rebecca Bradley is up for re-election, and she has been an amazing justice. She's been on there since, I think it's been 10 years at this point. She's been on for quite a while, but she has been kind of one of the rock stars of the conservative movement in the judiciary, and she's always got great opinions. If your attorney's like Eric and I, you know that it's always fun to read what she says that the liberals are just ignoring. So we really need her voice on there, and we really need somebody of that caliber to kind of get some great opinions out and make sure that the conservative voice is heard on the Supreme Court. So that's the first task we have coming up. And then, of course, we'll be moving into the November elections. And we've got a lot going on. Namely, we've got to make sure we have candidates here in Dane County. How many people here have ever run for office? Oh, I know you did, Eric. But it's great that we need people to think about running. And maybe you don't want to run, but maybe you know somebody who might be good at local office, a village board, or county board seat. So if you can identify somebody who might be interested, but just doesn't know how to do it, let them know there are resources to help with the Dane County Party. That we have people here that have run these things and can help them and provide information and let them know how to do it. Because it's not as easy as just saying, I want to run. You've got to do a lot of groundwork. You've got to get all the right paperwork in, and you've got to know how to campaign and how to get your name out there. But it's possible. Now, some people outstate like to think all of Dane County is just a bunch of liberals, right? But we know that's not true. There are a lot of conservatives in Dane County. I think it's, the third highest number of Republican votes in Wisconsin come out of Dane County. There are a lot of Republicans here. So I know there's more like-minded people in this county that want to see something change here. And, I'll be honest, not everyone's going to win. But I think a couple people will. And I think we have a speaker coming. Is Rebecca going to be here later? Yep. Oh, there you are. He just snuck in. Well, here's one example right here of a conservative who actually ran for local office and won. It can be done. But the first step is actually just running for office. And that's a huge barrier for a lot of people because most people don't know what it takes. But thankfully we have people here that do. So I'm going to ask you, when you go out today, the next months, next years, think about if not running for yourself, think about somebody in your life who might be interested in doing that, or would be good at doing that, but just hasn't put the pieces together yet. And say, hey, if you'd like to run, we can help you. We have the resources, we have the knowledge, and we have the volunteers, and people are ready to support you. And that's how we start making a real change in Dane County, by actually getting a few people in office, and it doesn't take many. It can just take one voice on a board to change the entire trajectory. One person can get a lot of things done just by being there and having a different voice. Because too often, I think the Democrats, the liberals just think everybody thinks like them because they never hear anyone say any differently. So if we just speak up, have more voices, and people see there's somebody who agrees with them in government, they're going to be encouraged. There are, like I said, there's a lot of Republicans in Dane County, but most of them don't know anybody else who also is a Republican. And if they see somebody in office saying things they agree with, saying what they think is right, they're going to be saying, hey, maybe I should get involved too. So just our actions can have a ripple effect across this entire county. And honestly, if we can just improve a couple percentage points in Dane County with the Republican turnout, will win the statewide elections every single time. So what we do here matters, and what we do here has a real effect, not just on us, but the entire state. So that's kind of my message here, and I'm going to get out of here before that bug comes back.
Wait. Let me. Can I ask a quick question? So I don't know
sure.
how many of you know John. He's our state treasurer.
Oh,
Incredibly intelligent guy, and one of the people who I think most understands the Wisconsin electorate and the challenges. And I was just wondering if you could possibly share with us your thoughts on how we went from winning Trump-Harris by, a point or whatever, to losing Schimmel by such a margin. What went on there in your estimation, and what can we learn from that?
Well, the simple fact is, the people who came out and voted for Trump, a lot of them just didn't show up and voted. They didn't vote in the spring elections.
And what can we do about that?
What we do about that is realizing that, so I was saying earlier to some other people here, we thought if we just get a certain percentage of the voters out, of the Trump voters, I think it's like 70% or something, we'll win the spring election. And the sad part was we actually hit our targets. We went out, we tried to get a certain number of percentage voters out, we got them. The problem is the Democrats just turned out more. We can't sit back and expect the Democrats to adhere to our target goals. We can't expect them not to treat every single election basically like a presidential election. There's no such thing as an off-year election anymore. There's no such thing as a low turnout or quiet election. If we want to win, we have to treat every single election as a high turnout election and work as such and spend as such and campaign as such that we need to get everybody out. Not just our base, not just the high turnout voters, but the low turnout, low propensity voters, the ones who may not traditionally vote. We have to realize that we need them to come out and vote every single time. So we can't just sit back and say we just need to get our 20% out. No, we need to get every single person out every single election, and we don't really have any margin for error because the Democrats are doing exactly that. And the sad part is they have an easier time doing it because it's a lot easier to turn out 80% of people in the city of Madison when they live 2-3 blocks from a polling place than it is to turn out somebody in northern Wisconsin who lives 10-20 miles from a polling location. It's a lot harder to get our voters out, but that doesn't mean we can't do it. It doesn't mean we don't really have a choice. We have to do it. So I think that's the big lesson from this last election. We don't have a choice. We cannot sit back and just take a pass on an election and hope the base comes out. We have to read every single election as the big turnout election because they are. And if we're going to win, we've got to at least match them. And when we do, though, like you saw last November, when we have a high turnout election, we win. That's the message right there. If we turn out, we'll win. So let's make sure everybody turns out.
Yay! Everyone give a hand for John Leiber. Yeah.
Maybe a beer bus is the answer.